Guys, welcome to my channel. If you have not been here before, my name is Haley. Thank you for joining, and if you are a returning subscriber or viewer, thank you so much for coming back. Today we're gonna do a Bible study on James chapter 1. James is a pretty short book. It only has 5 chapters in the book, so if you are kind of like a beginner, you're kind of intimidated and don't really know where to start, James would maybe be a good place for you just because it is only 5 chapters. I'm just gonna go ahead and say I apologize for the way I look today. I had a root canal 2 weeks ago, and today I thought I was going in for a checkup on how it was going and how everything was like healing up, but apparently they were only halfway done with the root canal, and today I had to get like more work done on that tooth. So like I have like the nitrous gas, my mouth was numbed, everything. It's like this side, so if you like see like some weirdness going on, that's definitely what that is. You know, I just wanted to make this video, and sometimes it just feels like really silly to like spend the time to like fix my hair and makeup just to make a video. Like, I want to be real and I want to be authentic, and the truth is a lot of the times I do look like this. So that was just a little disclaimer. Anyways, so the supplies that I'm going to be using today are, I have a highlighter and a pen, my Bible. I'm reading the King James Version, and this is a Bible that I bought myself in 2015, I think. And all of these are the chapters that I have read. I need to update it because I've read more chapters now. And my last item that I'm going to be using is just a notebook. This one actually says Prayers and Praises. This is what I use for when I go to church, just like when I read the Bible, we'll take notes in it. I've actually already done this study for James 1, so I'm just going to kind of recap that with y'all. And also, I just wanted to say, you do not have to have a Bible. You can download the Bible app is what I use, and it's really great. It has different Bible studies. If you're not comfortable just like reading the Bible, you can do a bunch of different translations. As far as what translation should you read if you're just beginning to read the Bible, King James Version is the most word for word from the original text, but a lot of people are intimidated because it does have a lot of these and thous and just kind of like more older school type language, whereas other versions don't. If I need to check a verse, I'll compare King James Version, New King James Version, Easy to Read Version, and English Standard Version. Those are the ones that I like to compare and see exactly what it's saying in each of them. But I'm going to go ahead and turn to James chapter 1. This is right after Hebrews and right before 1 Peter. Because I already have read through the chapter, I'm just going to tell y'all I'm going to break it down exactly what I do and how that benefits me. What I do is I read the chapter as a whole. So we're on James chapter 1. So it has 27 verses. It doesn't take very long to read, but as I'm going through, if something sticks out to me, if I feel like something's important, or maybe even if I don't understand something, I highlight it or I put a question mark by it, just so that way when I go back through, I can go and compare it to different translations and see exactly what that word means, or even look it up on Google, like what does this word mean in James chapter 1. So I'm going to tell y'all the verse numbers that I highlighted, and then I'm going to kind of read to y'all what I wrote in my book, my prayer journal, to break it down so when I want to go back and look at it, I can apply it to my life. So I highlighted verses 2 through 6, verse 8, verses 12 and 13. I underlined something in 14 and 15, and also highlighted 15 through 22, and then I highlighted in 25, 26, and 27. The more I read, one thing I do love about this Bible, I've had it for so long, so pretty much every different color is a different time that I've read it. So I'll get something different every time I read it, something that maybe I didn't notice before, or something that didn't stick out to me before. And that's kind of something really powerful about the Bible. The Bible is God's living word, and God gave us the Bible to teach us and help us to grow closer to Him. So I just think it's really cool that every time I read it, like, something more sticks out to me. I think what I'm going to do is read each verse that I highlighted, so I won't be reading the entire chapter, but I am going to read to you what I highlighted, and then I'm going to read to you my notes on it and kind of break it down, just because this is King James Version, and a lot of people, like I said, don't really jive with this version. But anyways, I'm just going to go ahead and read everything I have highlighted now. My brethren, count it all joy when ye fall into divers, it's spelled like divers, so that would be something that I would have to look up in a different translation. Divers temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. But let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. For he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God. For God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust, and enticed. Then, when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, and cometh down from the Father of lights, with whom is no variableness, neither shadow of turning. Of his own will begat he us the word of truth, that we should be a kind of first fruits of his creatures. Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath, for the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of God. Wherefore, lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness the engrafted word, which is able to save your souls. But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. But whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty, and continueth therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deed. If any man among you seems to be religious, and bridleth not his tongue, but deceiveth his own heart, this man's religion is vain. Pure religion is undefiled before God and the Father is this: to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world. So that was not the entire chapter. That was just the things that I had highlighted and underlined. And now I'm going to go ahead and go into my notes and explain what I wrote down and what I got from the chapter. Okay, so I have the title. I like to title like what I'm doing, what chapter I'm on, just so whenever I go back and look, I'm not like really confused. So it says, the speaker tells us to count it all joy when we face trouble, because the trying of our faith creates patience. Now, I mean, this is count it all joy is like kind of something you hear all the time. Like, I think for me, I didn't even know necessarily that it was a Bible verse, or it just kind of falls into the mainstream of like, is that a Bible verse, or is that just like a common saying people say? But this verse is so powerful because it says, count it all joy, for when we face trouble, it creates patience. And patience is obviously a the figure of speech is patience is a virtue. Like, if you have patience, your life is just going to be so much better, and you're going to have just a better quality of life. So, definitely patience is quite important. And then it says, they say, if anyone lacks wisdom, ask God for it, and he will give it to him. We are to ask for things in faith, not wavering. So, it's so easy to pray for someone to be healed, or pray for, help me in my relationship, or help me in this way or that way. But God wants us to pray for it with the faith that if it is his will, he will do it, or he can do it, basically. So if you're just terrified and you're so scared and you're praying, but it's like a last resort, like I'm just going to pray as a last resort, that's not how God wants us to do it. God wants us, if you have, just for instance, say that you hurt your ankle and you play a sport and you're praying, God, help me heal this ankle, help me to be able to play my sport, but you're just so scared and you just feel like there's really no way, but you're just praying just in case. You need to really have faith that God will heal your ankle if it is his will for you. And that's just like something that's so important to me when I pray, is I ask for God's will to be done, not mine. God's plan for us and our lives are so much more, far beyond anything we could comprehend or plan for ourselves. So of course I pray for certain things, but I also say, God, if this is your will, let it be done. And if it's not, let it not be done. And I need to pray as well for the understanding that if something doesn't happen, I know that it is for his will and his glory, not my own. So also wrote down, a man who wavers is like a wave being tossed around by the wind. A man with his mind in many places is unstable. So I love like the imagery in this. So it kind of goes back to, we're supposed to pray with faith. And if you have faith one day and the next day you don't, and you're just like, I don't know, like I don't know where I'm supposed to be. If your mind is all over the place, you are unstable. You need to, if you're gonna be a Christian and if you're gonna live for God, you need to do that unwavering. You don't need to have on and off. That's not to say that you won't have good days and bad days. Everybody's going to have bad days. Everybody's going to mess up. But if God is your Savior that you are claiming him to be, you need to live it. And then I actually quoted this verbatim with the King James Version. Blessed is a man that endures temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him. And then I say, if we look temptation in the face and deny it, God will give us the crown of life. That to me is just so powerful, because I'm not saying that we have more temptations today than maybe they had 2,000 years ago. I'm not saying that, but I am saying with social media and with just basically today's life, there are so many things, especially I'm 22, so something like a lot of people my age do are they drink and they just do drugs for fun, and there's just a lot of sin in today's world. And basically, just because you're a Christian, that doesn't go away. If anything, the enemy is going to try to tempt you more, because he wants to lure you away from God's plan. Anything God has good for you, the enemy wants to strip that away from you. So this right here, just saying if you endure temptation and you stand firm in your faith, God is going to bless you. That's just such a beautiful reassurance to me. So moving on, we're not supposed to say, God is tempting me, which I've been guilty of this before. I'd be like, oh, God's testing me. He just wants to see what turn I'm going to make. Well, when I read this, I was like, ooh, my bad, because I didn't know. But it says, we're not to say God is tempting me. God himself cannot be tempted, and in turn, he will not tempt us. We will be tempted because of our own lusts, and lust brings sin, and sin brings death. Sin without salvation will bring you death. Not necessarily you're going to die here on earth, but you will not have eternal life is essentially what that means. So I just thought that was crazy, because God's not going to tempt us. It's the enemy, or it's our own selfish thoughts that are tempting us. So that's just some food for thought there. And then obviously this is like a really popular verse. A lot of people, like when they get pregnant, they post this verse, but it's every good gift and perfect gift is from above. So I wrote is from heaven, comma, God. So it says, of God's own will, he created us with his words. And that's something that's just so powerful. Like God literally spoke us into a void and created the earth and created the heavens and the seas and the sky and us and animals and just nature. And God has that power with his mouth, with his words. And that's just so crazy to me. And then it says we're supposed to, 1, be quick to listen, which I think a lot of us are not, me included. 2, slow to speak. Feeling a little guilty here. And 3, slow to anger. And those things just speak volumes. We need to be very quick to listen to what other people are saying. We need to be very slow and think about what we're going to say back. And we also need to be slow to anger. We need to have patience with people because in the grand scheme of things, we're literally all human. And then I wrote, anger is not in God's righteousness. We need to set aside all wickedness in our lives and accept God's word because it can save us. So, continuing to play on slow to anger. Anger is not in God's will for us. God does not want us to be angry. And I get it. There are so many things in life that are frustrating and annoying and just downright outraging. So, I get it. But God doesn't want us to carry that burden of anger. And anger, if you've ever held anger or maybe just held a grudge against somebody, it really is heavy to carry, and God doesn't want that for us. And it is not allowing us to carry out the righteousness he has for us. So, just don't be angry. Why be mad when you can get glad, I don't know. It says we have to live out God's word, not just hear it. If we remember God's word and do his work, we will be blessed. So this is so important to me. And if you get anything from this video, get this, please. We are not supposed to just hear God's word. We have to hear it, hide it in our heart, and live it out every day. So that is a difficult thing to do whenever there are so many things in life just coming at you. And I don't know, day-to-day life, it is a struggle to remember that the God that created the stars and the sky and the sea created us as well, and that he wants good for us, not bad. And the Bible clearly says right here, if we remember God's word, he is going to bless us. So we have to remember it, we live it out, and we know that we have been promised blessings if we live out God's word for our lives. And the last little thing that I have, that I don't know who needs to hear this, but just listen. If a person claims to be religious but runs their mouth, their religion is worthless. Pure religion and undefiled before God and the Father is this: to visit orphans and widows in their times of need and to keep themselves from becoming like the world. Okay, so this also kind of goes back to hearing God's word and then living it out. If you're not living it out, what is the point? If you say, yeah, I'm a Christian and I read the Bible and I do this, but if your words are speaking louder than your actions, why? What are you doing? You need to think about, what are you portraying to people? Because I believe that God put us on this earth to help other people to come to know him. That way that we can help as many people go to him for salvation and eternal life as possible. That is our calling. Everyone has their own special gifts and their own ways that they can help people come to know him. But that, as our human calling, is what we're here for. And the verse at the last verse, I'm gonna read it out of the Bible, just straight read it and then break it down. But it says, Pure religion and undefiled before God and the Father is this: to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world. So it's saying pure religion, like if you want to live religiously, this is how you need to do it. You need to visit orphans. You need to visit people who have lost their mom or their dad. You need to visit women who have lost their husbands, or husbands who have lost their wives. Help them, be there with them, be in community with them. That is what this is about in the grand scheme of things. And the last part that says, keep himself unspotted from the world. I think a huge problem with Christians and churches today is that they try to become the world to reach the world, and that is not what God wants. God does not want you to become so relatable that you become part of the problem. You get what I'm saying? So that's just a whole nother thing for another day. But basically, the takeaway from this for me is that we need to be thankful even when we're going through trials and hard times, because that is going to build us patience, and patience is one of like the more important things in life that we need as Christians. If we feel that we are kind of lost and we need wisdom, we can ask God and ask him in faith, knowing that he will give it to us, and then God will give us the wisdom we need. If we're going to be a Christian, we need to be all in. We can't just be wavering all over the place. One day a Christian, the next day I don't know, like, and I'm not saying you're not going to mess up and you're not going to sin, because I mess up and I sin every single day, but it's the point to align your mindset with what God has for you and try to stick to that. If you're tempted and you can deny that temptation, God is going to bless you. We need to be very quick to listen, slow to respond, and slow to anger. If we can set aside all the bad things in our life and rely on only God's word, that is what can save our souls from being sent to hell forever. God's word and the belief that God did die for us is our salvation and our way to be saved. We need to listen and learn of God's word, and then we need to live it out. And we need to be there for people. Bottom line, people who are hurting and going through other things. As Christians, we are called to be there for them, be that community, help them, pray over them. If you have a little extra money, even if you don't have a little extra money and you're like, oh, money's kind of tight, but you see somebody that needs help, help them. Go out of your way, because that is what Jesus did when he was here on earth, and that is what he has called us to do. And last but not least, don't turn into the world trying to reach the world. We need to be better examples. We need to try to help people come to know God. And you know, we don't want to be those people who are looked at as hypocrites and, well, you know, she preaches this and she says this, but she's out here doing this, this, and this. People are watching us, and they want an excuse to say, well, you know, she doesn't practice what she preaches, so don't listen to her. And the enemy is strong at work. You just have to be stronger. Thank you so much for watching this video today. I hope that it blessed you. I did not necessarily know what I was getting into when I started reading James the other day, but I'm very happy that I'm on this ride of James. It's a quick study, but you can get what you want out of it. If you want to just do a quick whatever, that's fine. But also if you want to dig deep and dissect the words so that you can use it for your life, you can do that as well. I haven't done this before, but I think I'm going to end with a prayer. I'm going to pray it for myself. I'm going to pray it for you guys as my viewers. Let's just do a prayer. God, thank you for allowing me to make this video. I pray that this touches somebody's heart. I don't know if there's somebody specific that needs to watch this, or I don't know if this was just something that I needed to make for myself to help me learn more. But I just pray for your blessings over my life, my family and friends, and over all the people that view this. I hope that people can learn something from this, and that maybe this sparks a fire in somebody's heart to really come to know you, and maybe somebody's going to realize that they need to be saved by you, Lord. And I just pray that people can know that they can come to me if they need prayer or they need anything. And I just thank you that I have the ability to make videos like this, and that I can do the things that you've called me to do, Lord. Thank you for your blessings. Thank you for your protection. And I pray that you help just all of us in all that we do. In your precious name, Jesus. Amen. If you ever need any kind of prayer, or just maybe some encouragement, or you have any questions, I don't know all the answers, but I will definitely try my best to find an answer for you, or absolutely pray for you. So leave a comment below, or you can message me on Instagram or Snapchat or Twitter, whatever you feel comfortable doing. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time.